Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this training session where we will learn how to make a project plan using MS Project. My name is Adnan Rafiq Ahmed. If you have any questions and concerns, feel free to talk to me anytime. All right, so moving on, let me show you first of all how a project looks like. So you can see on screen a project. This is a Gantt chart. So you can see all the elements here, such as your activities, your milestones, deliverables, and project phases. And on your right side, you can see how the relationship among different activities will look like. Here you can see as a diamond item, this is your milestone. Any milestone can be represented with using a zero duration. Just like here, if you look at the activity, if I change it with zero, this will look like a diamond. It becomes a milestone. Milestone is any important point in a project. Now, you can also see if I go back and give more space to this element here, which is our worksheet, you can see more columns, which has more information about the project. You can always add column and you have many options here. It can be your baseline element. It can be the actual work. So you can go through and look at whatever the elements you can add in your project. For example, cost variance if you want to add. So this is where you can add whatever information you want to add from the reporting perspective or from your project management perspective. So I'll just simply keep it blank. I'll not add anything there. All right, so now when you go back and look into this project, so if I just simply minimize, that's how it shows me my phases of the project. So I have 4 phases in this project. And then if I just simply go back and put it more detailed, I can look at my 2 deliverables. So I have project setup, I have awareness workshops. Under these, I have activities. Now, if I have more detailed project, I may also break it down into work packages. Remember the rule of work packages, any work package you have, it should be 8 to 80 hours. So in this case, I don't have a specific project where I have a work package because it's not a huge project there. All right, so just want to show you how you can expand or you can compress your project activities. So I have 4 phases here. Now that's where you're going to play with your options, your elements. You have resources, you have reports, the project information, and of course your view as well. So we will go through some of the basics today. Let me go through and start working on a project which I prepared a WBS earlier in the previous video. So let's look at a blank project. Okay, so hold on. Make sure that you have already your WBS with you. If you have WBS with you, that means it'll be easy for you to work on it. If you don't have your WBS, that's where you will be in trouble. So I'm talking about my software project. So if you remember, based on the video, so that's my software development project. Under this project, I have 4 phases. Majorly, if you remember, it's design phase. I have development phase, so develop. Then I have testing, and then I have launch. Of course, I'll go in one of the areas in more detail. Now, if you notice that on your right side, you see the task mode, all of them are manually done. So what you need to do is you need to go select all of them and convert them into auto schedule. So that you can select from here. Never mind, you can select from here, but that will change one on one, all right? So you can change only one thing at a time. They select all of them together, you can change it from here. So you can put auto schedule, so all of them will be automatically scheduled. So this means once you give relationship predecessor for each of them and you put the duration, system will give you the total end date of the project. And this actually is going to become your project schedule itself. So what we'll do is let's add some more information there. Now you need to indent, which is actually key element you need to understand. So here you have outdent or indent. Now under my software development, I have these 4 different phases. So I need to select the phases only and indent one time. You notice that what happened? So all of them became actually or came under software development. So if I just simply click here and compress, that means all of them are under this software development. If I expand that, I can see all the phases. So what I want to do is I will go and add more information under design phase. So just click on develop and add the task here. You can see the add task. If I click add task, it will add one task above the phase. So let me add, let's say 10 of them, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So under this design phase, I'm going to put up one of my deliverables. So one of the deliverables is going to be prototype. Under prototype, I will have multiple work packages. So one of the work package is going to be collect requirements. So one of them is going to be, let's say, requirements. One of them is going to be documents. One of them, let's say, is going to be my project plan. And one of them is going to be output options. So what I will do now is I will select all these work pack deliverables and I will actually indent them. So now they all come under design phase. So under prototype, I actually have requirements as a phase. So I'll select all of them, whatever is applicable that comes under prototype. Again, I do indent. Under requirements, so we have collect requirements, document items, project plan, and output. So these are all my work packages. Under collect requirements, I have multiple activities. So again, I will go click on the next activity or the element or the deliverable, and then you add the task. You add task above, all right? So make sure that you do it right. I want to add task under requirement. So I will click one activity below or one row below, and then I will add task. I have 3 activities, let's say. So one of the activity is interview. One of the activity is, let's say, focus groups, a focus group. One of the activity is actually, let's say, benchmark. So I have 3 activities. Now, all the 3 activities are on the same level of requirements. What you have to do is you have to select the activities and then do indent again. Now you notice that all the activities actually are now coming under requirements. Now if I add duration, let's say this is 3 days, 2 days, and 3 days, and let's say another 5 days. So I don't see any dates there because it's manually scheduled. But as soon as I convert the manual schedule to auto, you can see the dates. Still, there is no relationship there because we haven't defined any. So what I will do is I will put up the relationship. For example, interview will be completed independently. There's no predecessor for that. But once we complete interview, we'll go and do focus group. So the predecessor for activity number 6 is activity number 5. You can see the arrow there, the relationship. And same goes for benchmarking will be done if activity number 6 is done. So you can notice that that's how the relationship will be defined. So just like this one, you can also go back and add more activities in the below work package. Same for this work package. But then what you have to do is you have to go and make the auto schedule. You can watch the video again to make sure that you understand. Select the activities, indent. So now you understand that this is your work package requirements. And here's the other work package, which is documents. And under the work package, you have activities. Make sure that you practice that right. Okay, so the structure, if the structure is done in a right way, that means you have done good job. That's basically part of planning. So you have 4 work packages under your deliverable prototype. And prototype is under your phase design. And of course, design is one of the phase. You have development as another phase, testing another phase, and of course, your launch another phase. So this is how things work out. Now, I will go ahead in more detail and working on one of the work package in more detail. For example, we have interview. So you can see that now we define the relationship. And of course, we can add resources. You may also add resources from the resource column. You can also assign resources and also assign the amount or the cost of each resource. It could be $100 per hour and the resource is 100% for the project or 50% for the project. Remember, if it's a metrics organization, so some resources are not available 100% or maybe available half of the time. You also have options to do the resource leveling. You can click on them and play with these tools or these options. You can go through multiple reports and of course, project information that you want to go through and look at. So you may want to go and change the working time in your project depending on, by default, it's giving you Saturday, Sunday as a day off, which is weekends. So you can change that to Friday, Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday. So depending on whatever time frame you have. You can also go back and create a new calendar. Let's say if it's in Ramadan, so the timing is going to change, or you're going to make it 24 hours of your calendar. So play with your calendar and make sure, based on your organization, based on the project duration, you may also have to go and add one more calendar or different calendar in different time frame. So further working on, you have WBS. It's giving you your, if you want to define codes manually, you can do that, but otherwise system will give codes automatically. And I'll show you where you can see that. So let's go back and look at the resources. If you plug in a resource, for example, here we are going to have Ali working on the project, and here we have Khalid, and again here we have Ali. You notice that there's no problem with any of the resource. There's no issues, but imagine that if you put up same person in a different activity at the same time, whereas we look at this activity is the start date is same, and of course we have same date for the interview. If I put Ali here, same guy, same resource, it may give us some error. You notice that? That means these activities require resource leveling. They need your attention because it's one activity, whereas you apply same resource, and that is actually trouble. So we will just simply remove Ali from here. So that's how things will work out. And of course, you can add more columns as and what you want. So I'll add here percentage complete. Nothing is complete yet. So let's do this. Once you put up all the plan for your project and put all the detail, again, remember the most important thing is how you define your phase, your deliverables, your work packages and activities. Watch this video again if you want to understand how it's done. Now, once you do that, add up the duration, put up your predecessors. So overall, if you do this right, your complete project duration will be set up. And you understand that what's your start date of the project and end date of the project. Now, once you start execution, you simply go, let's say today is our day, and we go and we have done interviews. So you go to click, you double click on interview. You can find out this more detailed tab. Of course, you can change information from here as well. So predecessor, if you want to change, or resources. So we already see that Ali is there. Units 100% will be used for the project, and that's the cost because we have not put up the cost there. You can add this. You can see the advanced options, and here you can see the WBS code already assigned for this. So the type of this activity is fixed units. There's no constraint there. You can also look at the constraints that you have to complete this activity by a specific date, and there are different type of constraints as well. You can look at there, the deadline. Here is a constraint type. You can pick any of the options, whatever is applicable. So yes, in some activities, you may have to do that. You can write down some notes. For example, some risks that are applicable, any of the other information, you can customize your plan. So I'm going to the general tab, and then here I will change the percentage. So let's say 50% of the work is done. So I'll put up 50% and click OK. So you notice that in your item here, so 50% of the work is done. That means it's sum up to the total project. So 4% of the total project is done just because of this one activity. Of course, once you define for the whole project, the activities, and once you update any of the activity based on how much work is done, you can figure out how much total percentage of the project is done. So here you can also see that this activity is highlighted or actually has a fill in it, which is showing how much percent of the work is done. So let's say, and you can change it from here as well. So if I'm putting off in 80% of this activity is done, or 90%, you can see that the tab actually has filled up with 90%. If this activity is done 100%, you can see a check mark there. So that shows you which activity is completed and how much. All right, so that's actually a very good idea and understanding of your MS project. So whatever you plan, put it in MS project. Now this shows you the 100% of the work that you planned. So whatever is in your WBS, if you put up a correct WBS, a detailed WBS, comprehensive, complete WBS, put that in MS project, that's basically what your top management is going to look for. Now imagine enterprise project management. You have 20 different project managers, 50 different project managers, hundreds of projects. So enterprise level, they will all be showing whatever or how much is the percentage completed for each project. So this project is now 17% complete. So the other project, whatever the projects are, they can also be representing the percentage and if anything is delayed based on the baseline. Once you put up a complete project, you can actually set up the baselines. So you can go through different options. And again, one of the best way is to play with the tool. So here you can set up the baseline. You can set multiple times baselines, right? So for example, you set up now, and maybe after 6 months down the line, project manager changes. So you can again set up another baseline. That will become your baseline number 2. You can compare your project with your baselines and see how well you are doing. So you can go in reports and play with the reports as well, which will show you that how much work is done. So that's basically where we can understand how the WBS, which is a very important perspective of the planning of the project, will link with your MS project or Primavera or any other planning tool. Now that tool will actually help you a lot when you execute the project in monitoring and controlling. So how much work is done, which activity is complete, how much percentage of the activity is complete, how or what is the relationship between activities, and so forth. So that's all for this video. And if you have any questions and concerns, please reach us and contact us freely. Thank you very much. Take care.